Okay, I'm back. Here are the things. We're going to finish up this card that I started off with yesterday. Have some dies, some embellishments, some sentiments. Just trying to keep this one super simple since it's our very first and beginning trial. So here is what I selected. I'm going to use this die cut to trim this down a little bit. Selected this really pretty colored cardstock for our card base. Remove these things out of the way. And just let's get right to it and see how this goes for us today. I do have a die cut machine here. And I'm just putting it up here just so that you can see what I'm talking about a little bit. As I hopefully do more of these, I'll probably have, a lot more information to share with you. Right now, I'm just doing this for fun, just inviting friends and just wanting to create. Excuse me. I'm using that tape to hold my die down. As you can see, we're going to trim off a little bit of our image, but not too much because that image was super fun to create. Maybe I put this in the wrong spot, but this one is a hand cranking die cut machine, which works perfectly fine for me. I do have an electric one, but we're using this one right now. All right, get those things out of the way. You can see how fun these are. Simple, quick, and easy. And there's that tape, again, using that, and it doesn't take off any of the cardstock or our image that we created yesterday. There's that die cut piece. Has with that die, it created this cute little kind of deckled edge, if you can see that. And then take my card base. This is 8.5 by 11. And we'll be cutting this down. So just a little tip here that someone shared with me one time. So a lot of times you make a lot of card bases of the same. I typically use white, but today I'm using a color one. But you can put your paper in if you have a paper trimmer such as this that has a scoring blade, and you can score that. And then we cut this 8.5 by 11 in half. I'm cutting it at 5.5 right here. And then I have 2 card bases ready to go. So we're going to use one of these. Trying to keep this quick and simple. And as you can see, there's now a score line there. So that makes your folding and edge look nice and smooth. Just grabbing a bone folder. Bone folders are handy for making that crease nice and sharp. Here is, oh yes, look at that. And I'm just going to adhere this down. Once again, this is just going to be a quick, easy, simple card. We did all that fun work yesterday with the blending. If you weren't here with me yesterday, you can check out my first video, and it did show me jumping right in and sharing fun and new things with you. And we did that blending yesterday with the fun inks, just using some liquid glue here. I'm just putting this one down today with straight direct to the cardstock with that glue. I just eyeball things. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and sometimes it's crooked, sometimes I nail it. Today it looks like it's going to look pretty nice. Putting that down, I selected a sentiment. You can find these in a lot of different places. This set happens to be from Stampin' Up. I I'm kind of a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator at the moment. I think that might change here soon, so I'm not going to show too much more of that one. I selected this sentiment. What I'd like to do with this is it's going to go right here, right in this area, but I want to add just a little bit more interest to that sentiment. What I'm going to do is take a piece of tear and tape. This stuff is pretty handy. This is the fun part of it, is finding that end. I'm sure there's ways you can make that easier. And I'm just taking a piece of this and I'm going to adhere it to the back of my sentiment. Going to go ahead and take this backing piece off. So now I have a sticky side on the back side. And what I like to do, I selected this, you know, some people call it baker's twine, and it had little kinks in it, and so I'm just kind of pulling it through my fingers to try and smooth it out a little bit. And then I take a look at my sentiment, and this adhesive is just going to help hold this twine in place. I'm just going to make a few loops. Sometimes I kind of hold it with my finger. Not too big, not too small. Whoops, that got away from me. And as I loop, I press it into that adhesive piece that we stuck on the back. Then I'll just rotate it, make another loop. I like to do at least 3, and not usually more than 3, but sometimes, just depending on, this sentiment is a little bit, it's not super big, so I don't want to overpower it with my baker's twine. I'm just going to find a little sticky spot back there so I can just hold it. It just kind of holds it in place. Take some scissors. You know how we are with our scissors. We have super sharp ones for certain things, paper ones for certain things. Just grabbing my really sharp ones. So snip off that baker's twine pretty easily. Okay, so now, there we go. We just have a little bit of interest. There's a little bit of sparkle in that baker's twine. It kind of made that fun. Now I don't want to put this directly down, so I'm going to use some dimensions. These you can find in all different places, hobby stores, scrapbook.com, just all kinds of paper crafting places carry these dimensional things. These particular ones came from Stampin' Up! I like them. Just put those on, and it's going to raise the sentiment a little bit off of our card front, just to add some pop and some dimension. Just lining it up, so it kind of, let's make sure it looks nice and straight. You can just push those around a little bit. We're almost done. Super quick and easy. And then I also decided to throw on a little bit more interest. Now these are also from Stampin' Up!, but you can find embellishments all over the place. I just happen to have these on hand, and I was pleased with the color. I was thinking this color, because isn't that pretty? It kind of matches the green in that, but I don't want to have too much of a green, so I'm going to go with the more subtle ones. And I'm just going to pull those off. There's tools. You can use your scissors. I happen to do well just using my fingernails. There are 3 different sizes. Woo, that one jumped out of my hand. A lot of times, well, I guess the rule of thumb is odd numbers. so kind of draws the attention. These guys are jumping around today. We can put 3 up there. We can add a couple more. But I'm going to just stick with that and call it good. Sometimes I'll put another white piece in here just for easier, you know, if I wanted to stamp an image, excuse me, a sentiment inside, or for writing my note. But this cardstock is pretty light colored, and so I'm just going to leave it like that. And there we go. Finished card. I hope you like it. I hope you join me in more crafting time, and I'd love to hear from you and spend more time with you. This was quick and fun. Talk to you later. Bye.